Let's talk about Cleopatra.
When you hear her name, what comes to mind? A stunning beauty, a seductive queen who brought powerful men to their knees. That's the Hollywood version, but the real story is far more compelling. Cleopatra was not just a pretty face. She was one of the most brilliant political minds of her era, a ruler who fought tooth and nail to protect her kingdom. Born into the Ptolemaic dynasty in Egypt, Cleopatra was more Greek than Egyptian, but she was the first in her family to actually learn the Egyptian language. This tells you everything you need to know about her dedication. She wasn't just inheriting a throne, she was earning the right to rule in the eyes of her people. She spoke at least 9 languages and was highly educated in mathematics, philosophy, and astronomy. She was a scholar, a diplomat, and a naval commander. Her world was dominated by one rising superpower, Rome. To survive, Cleopatra knew she had to play the game better than anyone else. This is where her famous relationships with Julius Caesar and Mark Antony come in. These were not just romantic flings. They were strategic political alliances. First, there was Caesar. When she was just 21, she was in a civil war with her younger brother. Knowing she needed a powerful ally, she famously had herself smuggled into Caesar's palace rolled up in a carpet. This wasn't just a dramatic entrance, it was a bold political move. She impressed Caesar not with her beauty, but with her sharp intellect and charisma. He backed her, and she secured her throne. Their alliance produced a son, Caesarion, whom Cleopatra hoped would one day unite Egypt and Rome. But Caesar's assassination shattered that dream. Rome was plunged into chaos, and a new power player emerged, Mark Antony. He was Caesar's most loyal general, and he was captivated by Cleopatra. Their connection was immediate and intense. Together, they formed a power couple that ruled the eastern half of the Roman world from Alexandria. Their alliance was both a deep personal bond and a formidable political and military partnership. They envisioned a new Hellenistic empire with their children as its heirs. However, back in Rome, another man was watching this unfold with growing alarm. Caesar's adopted son, Octavian. He saw Antony and Cleopatra not as partners, but as a threat to Roman tradition and his own ambition. Octavian launched a masterful propaganda campaign, painting Cleopatra as a decadent foreign sorceress who had corrupted a noble Roman general. He twisted their love story into a tale of betrayal. The conflict climaxed at the naval battle of Actium in 31 BC. The details are debated, but the outcome was a crushing defeat for Antony and Cleopatra. Their forces were scattered, and their dream of an Eastern empire was destroyed. Antony, hearing a false report of Cleopatra's death, took his own life. Heartbroken and defeated, Cleopatra was captured by Octavian. He planned to parade her through the streets of Rome in chains, a living trophy of his victory. But Cleopatra would never allow that humiliation. In a final act of defiance, she chose her own end. The legend says she used an asp, a venomous snake, and a symbol of Egyptian royalty to end her life. She died a queen on her own terms, refusing to become a footnote in someone else's triumph. With her death, the age of the pharaohs ended, and Egypt became a province of the Roman Empire. Octavian, now known as Augustus, became the first Roman emperor. History is written by the victors, and for centuries, the Roman narrative of a manipulative seductress dominated. But the truth is, Cleopatra was a formidable leader who used every tool at her disposal: her intelligence, her charm, and her political savvy to fight for her kingdom's independence in a world of giants. She wasn't just the last pharaoh of Egypt. She was one of history's most remarkable rulers. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this journey into the past, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more stories that challenge what you thought you knew about history. See you next time.